Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Beware of Bulldogs podcast. My name is Caleb Nail. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning, March 24th. We have a lot to talk about. Today, we're going to be talking about the basketball season. We're going to recap the season, what our thoughts on it, give our thoughts on it. Then we have to ask what seems to be the most popular question in Fresno right now is to keep Wahlberg or not to keep him. I think most people know the answer, but they're too afraid to say it. Or they're not a fan of it. We'll talk about that. Baseball ended their 10-game losing streak last night, so we'll touch on that as well. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share this with a friend. Tell any Bulldogs fans about Beware of Bulldogs. We have a new schedule. So 2 weeks ago after church, I was talking to my wife, and we both thought I need to get it down in writing and get on a schedule, because I would sit down to do this whenever I had time. It just wouldn't happen. Or I'd record and I wouldn't release it. So now I'm taking time out of my day and we're doing this. It's in the schedule. And I'm very excited. Wine Bar is going great. Come and visit me. Wine Bar Fresno on Hernan and Marks. We're across the street from Mad Duck and Ampersand in that Sunset Square there. We're open Mondays 4 to 8, Tuesday through Saturday 2 to 8. We have wine, beer, and a small kitchen, so some small bites, some appetizers for you before you go out to dinner. Come on by. I have wines from all over the place, and beer to satisfy the beer drinkers. All right. First things first, Fresno State Bulldogs men's basketball ended on only a couple teams get in on a high note. We did not. We were not one of those teams. We ended up losing to Colorado State in the Mountain West tournament. I mean, you could say overall this Fresno State basketball season was better, but I think there was still some disappointment because we were in so many games and we just couldn't finish. Not only were we in a lot of games, we were leading in a lot of games. And we just couldn't finish. But I thought overall the season was much, much better than last year. I mean, any season in the history of men's basketball at Fresno State was better than last year. So, hard to beat. But they ended up losing to Colorado State in the first round. After we led... we led it sometimes for a period of this game. And then early in the second half, mid-second half, we gave up the lead and we never got it back. Injuries hurt the team this season. It would have been nice to have Zayon, our point guard for we missed him for a lot of the season. It would be nice to have him along with Stickman. I thought we were better shooting. This is probably the best shooting team I've seen in a long time. So that was nice to have. And then you actually had scoring threats like Hydebreeder and Gorey. And you had big men that were threats as well, which I feel like in the past, I don't know, 5-6 years, we've had one threat. I thought there were multiple threats this year. That was nice to see. Now, the thing that is going to hurt Fresno State basketball from here until the end of time, if college sports continues the way it's going, is the transfer portal. Jack Manny was the first to go into the transfer portal. Then the big one, Deshaun Gorey, hit the transfer portal. I don't think it surprised anyone. But this is a perfect representation of what college sports is now. And I think this is what's hurting the viewer. Because it used to be that young guys come in, maybe one transfers. He's got to sit out the next year. Maybe one transfers. But for the most part, they're going to stick around. And in 3 or 4 years, this team is going to be experienced. They're going to be much better skilled. Their communication with each other, their chemistry is going to be much better because they've been playing for 3 or 4 years together. Now we have roster turnover, and when I say roster turnover, I mean a complete roster turnover. I mean 10 new guys every year. And that's not good for viewership. It's not good for a fan base. Now, we could have conversations about the name on the front of the jersey over the name on the back. But that's over. Unfortunately, it's over. And that used to matter in college athletics, but now it's more about the name on the back. And I am not a fan of that, but here we are. But this is why I say this is a perfect example of this. Because Deshaun Gorey, young kid, great athlete, probably get an opportunity and more money elsewhere, enters the transfer portal, and it comes out, but there's this asterisk next to his name, and they're saying, he's just testing the market. There's a big possibility that he comes back. Now, that's what I've heard. We could be completely wrong. But it's a perfect example of what college athletics is, especially for us group of 6 schools, mid-majors basketball schools. It's all about the money. And if you can get more money. And that's what I appreciate about Josiah Freeman, our football player. Josiah Freeman was interviewed by, I think, every media outlet in the Central Valley the other day. But he talked about how he enjoys playing for Coach Entz. And you can make it out of Fresno State. And we hear that often. If you could ball, they're going to find you. So, and that's what I would like to selfishly, someone from the Central Valley who's a big Red Wave, a member of the big fan of Fresno State and a member of the Red Wave. I want to get that out there to all the Central Valley kids. If you could ball, they're going to find you. And if you want to ball at Fresno State and make it to the big leagues, you can do that. We've had multiple people here that have done it, particularly in basketball. The guy I personally know, Greg Smith, did it, and he now lives here. Paul George is currently doing it. Tyler Johnson, who is on the coaching staff at Fresno, did it. So there's plenty of opportunity. If you could ball, they will find you. That's my selfish pitch to stay at Fresno State and play basketball there. But it's the perfect example because it's all about the money. Let's just see. The agent is going to tell you no matter what to enter the portal. Test the market. And it actually, in the basketball world, is not as good as you think it is. Maybe for someone like Deshaun Gorey it is. But Jack Manny Is it much better? Are we going to get more money? Are you going to go somewhere where you're actually able to put film together, which is probably which should be priority number one? Sean Gorey probably gets the money he wants. But the other guys, I don't know. And priority number one should be, are the coaches investing time into me in practice to get me better? And am I getting playing time to put enough film out there for the next level to see? Am I getting an opportunity? Sean Gorey gets that at Fresno State. And then how much money is enough money? I was talking about this with some buddies the other day, and my brother. This guy from NVIDIA or something, like some company that was smuggling $6 billion of NVIDIA. He was involved with AI and NVIDIA and things like that. It's like, when is enough enough? Like, could you stop that 1 billion? why did and he got caught with $6 billion? You didn't get caught at 1 billion. Why did you keep going for $6 billion? That doesn't make sense. But that money is not, players aren't getting that money. But how much do you need to make money? Because it used to be you played for the love of the game, and now we got to enter the transfer portal every season to see what our options are. And I don't want to knock anybody for making a good business decision, right? Because I would do the same. But what I do want to throw out there is maybe we should slow down. We need to seek guidance from people that have been through these situations, maybe that have made poor business decisions, that have learned from it, and are willing to share. Because it's not going to be better for everybody. And maybe the best thing for you is a place where you can shine. And I'll tell you what, if you're a good basketball player, you'll shine at Fresno. Now we got to pack the Save Mart Center. So that is the frustrating part to me, is the transfer portal and how you could just transfer willy-nilly, no consequences. It's that you're actually incentivized to transfer. And I think that is my biggest problem. I would rather have you be incentivized to stay with your team, but you're only incentivized to stay with your team if your team has a huge donor base and has the money to do it, rather than incentivizing kids to stay and be loyal. It doesn't exist anymore. Loyalty doesn't exist anymore. Very rare. And you could talk about it the other way. I mean, Breeder was at Air Force, then he was at Clemson, and then we got him at Fresno State. So, I mean, I'm not saying that we're not a part of the problem. What I am saying is I want there to be some loyalty, and I want the kids to understand that it's not always better. The grass is not always greener. Make sure that you have the right coach invested into you. Make sure you're getting playing time so that you could put film together. And make sure that the group of guys that you're going to war with or going to play the game with have your back. Okay. So now, after all that being said, I thought the season went better than, obviously it was better than last year. It was an exciting season. We were in way more games. We did not win the amount of games I think people wanted to win. I'm pulling up. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Pulling up their record. We finished 10th in the Mountain West. We did beat Colorado State earlier in the season, which is nice to have a win over a team other than Air Force and San Jose State. Oh, I can get this. It'll actually load. 13-19 overall. We went 7-13 in the Mountain West Conference, which is much nicer than 4 wins. Our non-conference schedule was eh. I mean, I actually think it was bad. And a loss to USC Upstate in the beginning of the season was bad. Well, we play the likes of San Diego. We did play Utah Valley, who was in their conference championship tournament. Stephen F. Austin, New Orleans, Pepperdine, CSU Bakersfield, who we lost to, and then we did play Arkansas, who is still playing right now, and Northridge. With wins over San Jose State, Colorado State, and we did have a win over Wyoming in conference, which was nice to have. And was that the one of the games we had a nice buzzer beater? Was that the UNLV game? I think that was the UNLV game. We did beat UNLV. But a better season, but it needs to get better next year as well. We will see, though, how we do this offseason. We're already bringing in recruits. We brought in one of Deshaun Gorey's teammates. That's why I would be surprised if he leaves. High school teammates. So the question around town has been, is Wahlberg going to stay? Excuse me. Is Wahlberg going to be able to keep his job? That's really what the question has been. On X, there's plenty of people that want to move on. And there's plenty of people that think we're doing just fine. Here's the bottom line. Whether you think we should keep Wahlberg or not keep him, we're keeping him. We have to keep him. There's no money to get rid of him. He has one more year on his contract. So that means we would have to buy him out of his last season, his last year, and then offer a coach a new deal. And you have to ask yourself, what coach, what high name coach, big name coach is going to take the position for the money that we can offer? I think I'm just being realistic. I don't think there's many that would. And because of that, and with the effort that I'm seeing coming from Wahlberg, I actually want to keep him. I want to keep him. He had a full exodus his first year, and he brought in some good players. I really liked Elijah Price, who he then ended up transferring to Nevada because we couldn't pay him $300,000, which is understandable. And the fact that Nevada is paying a player $300,000 is crazy to me, and they're not winning. But then he brought in guys like Zion, and he look at all the young guys that he brought in this year and how good they were. I mean, he was also able to get a veteran like Jake Heidbreeder. Then he brought in Gorey, Jack, Manny, pretty much everybody else. And he was able to put a team together that was competitive. They were competitive. We were in a lot of games. And I don't think we should skip that. We need to talk about how competitive we were. We were beating teams that, yes, we ended up losing to, and we blew, 15-point leads. But I will stress that that's going to happen when you don't have the legs. You don't have the depth. I mean, if you know anything about wall ball, the style that Wahlberg wants to play is you have to have 10 guys to play. You got to sub a lot. And we didn't have those legs. Cameron Foss transferred. Stickman was injured. I would have liked to see him play some of the young kids, like the guards that didn't get a whole lot of playing time. But David Douglas got injured. That was huge. So there is. I liked Reber. He's a freshman. Hopefully, he's from France. Maybe we could keep him. It would be fun. But there's some young guys that we didn't get to see that maybe we would have liked to have seen get a shot at it. Maybe they're struggling with injuries, something. But either way, I like what Wahlberg brought in. I really do. And we were in a lot of games. We just didn't have the legs to keep it going the entire game. So, one, we do not have the NIL and the donor base in the basketball program to keep players compared to, and we can't compete with the $300,000 that Nevada is giving to guys like Elijah Price. If we want to build a unit. And then two, we don't have enough money to really do much outside of, bottom line, we don't have enough money to do much outside of what we have right now. And I don't think we should. That's the answer. We should keep Wahlberg. Land the plane here. We should keep Wahlberg because I'm seeing improvement in our record. I'm seeing improvement in shooting, which is nice. I'm seeing improvement in our offense. I saw improvement on our defense. We have young kids that, if they stay, could be deadly a few years down the road. It's going to be hard, like I said, because we don't have enough money to keep them. But if Wahlberg could build a culture, I think there's a lot of promise here. Also, this is Wahlberg's dream job. He's going to do everything he can to win at Fresno State. And that's what I want. I don't, as much as we are a stepping stone for coaches, it's rare when you find someone that says, this is home. I want to win here. I will do everything I can. I'm donating my paycheck, which Entz is doing, by the way, to get players here and to win. I'm going to stay here because there's no plan B. And I like that. And I want that from our coaching staff. And I want that from our head coach. And that's what we're getting. So year 3 of Wahlberg, I think, is a given. And it's time for us to buy in. I watched an interview with Fertig, guy that worked with Tark. And he said something that I liked. He said a lot of things I liked, but the one thing that really stood out to me was he wished Tark got 1 year in the Save Mart Center so that Fresno could experience the Save Mart Center packed and rock him. And I agree with him. That would have been nice. Yes, we're in a horrible deal with the Save Mart Center. Yes, it's not comfortable seating. There's not much leg room. It's far away from the court. All these different things. We can make up all these excuses. But when I remember one game when San Diego, this was years ago, San Diego State was ranked coming into the Save Mart Center, ranked pretty high. And we played them. And this may have been like the 30-40 game. And it was loud, the Save Mart Center. It didn't look full, but there was a few thousand people there. And it got loud. And it was fun to have it somewhat packed. At least one side was packed. And you could see the difference it made in the players just by their body language. We got to bring that back. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how we get the locals to buy in. Like, we brought the local coach in. We have now, if Stickman can heal up and be ready to go next year and be a staple in the rotation, there's a local name that people can get behind. We have a couple of exciting players that he brings in. There's no reason that we shouldn't pack this place out, right? I think what needs to happen is really us to go 500 in conference play. And that is Wahlberg's goal. And he's getting there. We're slowly making improvements, and I like it. That's what I like to see. Patience. Let's go support him in year 3. All right. Let's move on to baseball. Last night, the Diamond Dogs played Long Beach State Dirtbags. And they defeated them, was it 8-1? 8-1. I'm pulling up your guys' responses. It was a fun game. I got to tune in, watch the game. And the Dogs looked good at the plate. Pitching was Fielding was much better. So we snap our 10-game losing streak, which was like the worst in 51 years or something like that. Snap the 10-game losing streak just in time to get ready for New Mexico. New Mexico's legit. Thoughts on the game, Robert Polvido? Pitching has to be better this week in New Mexico. And Ricky J says, it's about damn time. LeBron meme. Some numbers from the Long Beach game really quick. 8-1 in the third. Michael Boyd hit a 3-run homer. And then Jet Ruby sack fly to go up 4-0 in the third. In the fifth, Hidden Munster hit a 3-run homer. A Munster mash. I think they call him Munster. I like the Munster mash when he hits a home run like this. Then in the sixth, at the top of the sixth, we got 2 outs pretty quick from what I can remember. And then we just had a meltdown, loaded the bases, walked in a run. And that's what Polvido is saying here when he says our pitching has to be better. Because, and not just that inning, but multiple innings, we just let them have free bases. I think we had 6 walks this game. We had a couple batters hit. 3 batters hit. We hit 3 batters. And so, it's just things like that we can't give up to good teams. And so, in that sense, our pitching has to be better. Now, luckily, we got out of it with only 1 run. They left the bases loaded. And then in the 8th, Brady Hewitt homered. Ooh, a nice Oppo home run. Um, and we won the game 8-1. Sky Collins went 2 for 5. Michael Boyd, like I said, had the home run. He went 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts and 3 ribbies. Caden Munster had that home run. He went 1 for 4 with 3 ribbies and 2 strikeouts. But let me tell you, the Dirtbags left. They had 14 left on base. Yikes. We had 8. They had 14. So our pitching got out of it, but we got to be better. Vic Ariola started this game. He didn't get the win. Wyatt Thornbury got the win. But Vic went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, no earned though. Then BJ Rodriguez came in. It was really by committee. BJ Rodriguez came in, gave 2 solid innings, 1 hit, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, no earned. And then Wyatt Thornbury, who got the win, he went 1 1/3, no hits, no earned, 2 strikeouts, no walks. He looked good. Pitched 4 batters. And then Moose came in, and he finished off the inning. Gave up a hit. He did give up a run. He had 2 walks, but he was able to get out of there. He ended up hitting the guy as well. Tickling my ear. Then Weston came in. Weston Thornbury. He went an inning and 1/3. So I should say Moose went 1/3 of an inning. So he's got to get he's got to figure it out. Weston Thornbury went 1 1/3 with a strikeout, no earned, no hits. Douglas Crystal went 1 inning, no hits, no earned, had a strikeout, 1 walk. And then Tyler Patrick finished it out, went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits. So, I mean, yes, pitching needs to be much better against the better schools. But they got out of it. They did what they needed to do. Only gave up 1 run. And they looked they looked confident. And it was probably because offense was helping them out. And it was nice to have some offense. We need to continue to have that. On the Dirtbag side, Kaimi Kahaleke got the loss. Jackson Baker got the start. And I'm happy we got this win before we play New Mexico. And we go to New Mexico. We play them Friday. Friday first pitch is at 5 p.m. And then on Saturday it's at 1 o'clock. Sunday is at 11 o'clock. And then we're back in Fresno March 31st, that Tuesday, playing Cal Poly. Just 1 game against Cal Poly. My brother lives close to Cal Poly, so maybe get him to come watch some baseball. Bulldogs have a tough series against New Mexico coming up. So this is good. We got this win. Let's end the win streak. Oh, I should say also, I did wear my Fresno State baseball jersey. I'm going to take a little credit here in the losing streak. I wore my Fresno State baseball jersey yesterday. We won. So now I was going to wear this until we won. Well, we won. Well, now because it was the first time and we won, I think I have to continue to wear this. Some people may say, not I shouldn't even wash it. That's not my wife. She's not saying that. But some people are saying I shouldn't wash it. I think it's a good idea. I think I should continue to wear it, not wash it until we lose. I'll wash it when we lose. What else is happening today? Let's see. Nothing. There's nothing going on in Fresno State athletics today, tomorrow, or Thursday. Friday, though, big day. West Coast relays, equestrian against TCU, women's tennis against Wyoming in Laramie, baseball in Albuquerque. Softball is at Margie Wright Diamond in Fresno against UNLV at 6 p.m. on Friday. And the West Coast relays, which happened on Friday, is at Veterans Memorial Stadium, Cannon, right? And equestrians in Oklahoma. All right. Reminder: schedule is Monday, 7:30 a.m. live streams from here on out. If you are an athlete and you want to come on, let me know. DM me. And then we're also going to be doing, just so you guys don't freak out, I will be putting my other pod, Nailed It, on here as well on this feed with Beware of Bulldogs. We're going to be talking to, we're going to have interviews with people just in the Central Valley. I'm going to be uploading, well, actually, I think I deleted some, but I have some past ones. But I'm going to be uploading them on the Beware Bulldog feed as well. So don't freak out when you see those. Just fun people in the Central Valley that I think are worth talking to, where they have good stories and we can learn from them. So that's Nailed It. All right. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And as always, go Dogs.